Yeah, what's going on, family? Shaman B Miles coming to you live once again with another live stream. It's definitely going to be a good talk tonight, and I'm definitely going to be featuring Noble Isaiah L. And he's mainly going to do, most of the talking and stuff like that. I'm going to chime in on a couple of things, here and there, but it's mainly going to be Isaiah talking and stuff like that. And he's going to be joining us sometime real soon. And I feel as though this is a great topic that we need to really talk about. I feel as though it's a great topic, in this age that we're living in because we really got to be mindful and aware of, you know, um, dealing with this type of thing, the kind of people you're going to come across, on your journey and stuff like that, while you're striving to elevate and find your purpose in life and stuff like that. Hey, Detroit 313, Don Ross. Hey, Kate, Assistant Email, Kick Rocks, Agent McCoy, Karen Strong, Arnisa Richardson, and Nick Emerald 7. Peace, peace, peace. I see y'all coming up in here. You know what I'm saying? We definitely going to hey, Malika Brown. Hey, Daryl Giles. Hey, Alicia M. Like I said, Isaiah going to be joining us real soon. And as I say, Sound Mathematics, peace. And like I said, this is something that got to be addressed, man. I mean, not just addressed, but, talked about, discussed amongst us, man, because, you really got to understand about on this journey, man, the kind of like people that you're going to meet, the kind of people that you're going to come across. You got to be mindful of like, energy and stuff like that. There he is. Got by. There he is. Yeah, there he is. Peace, Islam, Nova Isaiah, peace and love, brother.
Peace and love more. How's everything?
Oh man, I'm doing wonderful, man. Yes, we definitely ready to get started, man. I see the chat is filling up. Y'all get them likes up, family. Like I said, brother Nova Isaiah L is going to talk up on this topic. Me and him, we had discussed this, very extensively. Been talking about it, but I want you know what I mean to y'all to hear this. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely will say, keep your eyes and ears open on this, and I yield the floor, to my good brother, great teacher, good servant, a great brother that I admire, Noble Isaiah L. And I yield the floor.
Peace and love, everybody. Um, yeah, so this has been a topic that uh, is definitely um, needed, and it's a lot of things that takes place within our community that needs to be cleared up. And you're gonna run into a lot of different people, and we don't necessarily like to focus on uh, pointing out the flaws in other people or different things like that. But you definitely gotta be aware of what you're gonna run into. And a lot of people that shout, you know, spirituality, spirituality, spirituality a lot. Sometimes, it just seems that it's the polar opposite, that they're not what they portray themselves to be. Um, and I know we all have flaws, but we got to look at our character. A lot of us have character flaws, but if you have uh, a lot of those red flags, you got a lot of work to, do. And a lot of times you can observe and recognize, you might even come across this with your loved ones or close ones, where they might basically, we talked about this, how they will over intellectualize spirituality and make it seem like you're so far away from where they are. I don't know if anybody ever experienced that with people like this, but it's kind of, some things that you'll come across, and it's like they like to prey upon people who seek an enlightenment, and they can use dogma to pervert a lot of truth against you. So it might be some truths that is general, and they'll take this truth that everyone may know to be true or experience to be true, and then they use that against you. Um, like they might start telling you that, uh, oh, God is going to get you if you don't do this, or the Orisha is going to get you if you don't do this, or uh, all, different gods or goddesses that will come after you, when we know that um, there is higher powers and forces and things of that nature. But our people like to use these powers or higher powers or concepts as pit bulls. Instead of the creators, we like to use the creator as our pit bull when we don't like something that people do or don't do, or we desire them to do. And it's really um, fake spirituality. It's really fake, really. And a lot of people try to use scare tactics against you and try to get you to bend to their will, and talk about situations that they really don't know themselves. And this is where it becomes a problem, because especially when you're trying to build on a foundation and they actually, attack you instead of using and channeling that energy for the good. And that's right, they use fear. They love to use fear as a tactic to keep you in a certain box, and they twist, the whole spiritual enlightenment path. They love to use the word spiritual. They love to use, um, all of these different sources of knowledge based, theories and principles. But that's not what true spirituality is all about. Even down to the definition of the word, it literally deals with breathing, the art of breathing, going back to those yoga forms, not necessarily the physical forms, but going back to the art of that breath and how to use the breathing. But people use so much, um, you know, this spiritual new age, which is really a reflection of the past, but the way that they're using it, they like to use it to attack other people, instead of actually becoming enlightened on an enlightenment path. And a lot of these people have some gifts or talents and may acquire some, they may have some knowledge. And so they might seem like they are truly genuine because they possess these things. But it's truthfully a situation where they don't use these gifts, talents, or knowledge for, you know, the light side. They actually using it for the dark side. You may even hear some of the statements, um, peace, love, darkness, and light, and all of these different things. But are you actually living these things out? That's the question. You might see today a lot of people got sage and Palo Santos and spiritual beads with, crosses and all these different things. Um, but all of these outside things don't make you spiritual. A lot of people, I don't know if y'all experienced this, but a lot of people burning sage and all this stuff and making, it seem like you're the problem. A lot of times it's them, that they say, oh, it's this bad energy, this negative energy, when they're the ones that's carrying that energy. And
Facts.
you know, it can really put you in a situation where you think that you're the problem. And a lot of times this goes unchecked in our community. Um, they like to use spirituality as a weapon against their own people. And from this, they create competition amongst us, who knows more knowledge. And then they want to see who can have the best intellectual orgasm instead of actually doing something for the people. And isn't that's not what true spirituality is about. It's about enlightenment and being uh, in tune with the universe and in tune with the creator. But that's not what these people do. They actually start. That's right, spiritual banging. Right, they start turning to gang banging. This the new age. They take the place of the preachers, and they start
Facts.
to become their own preachers and starting cults and stuff like that. And next thing you know, it's all about veganism. I don't eat meat because that's not for the body and things like that. I'm not saying that's wrong, but it seems like the people shouting and screaming at the loudest, they're the ones normally attacking you and
Hmm.
gossiping and talking about you behind your back.
Yep. And
And
Noble.
uh-huh.
I'm not to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
They are the new Christians.
That, that's right. Yeah, and it's sad because it's like uh you're building, you're doing the best you can, but I don't know if y'all experience this. It always seems like they can point out all your flaws, And the moment you try to tell them about
Mm-hmm.
themselves for constructive criticism, they tear you down. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they attack you. And I'm not a clinical doctor or anything like that, so I can't say, oh, this is what this diagnosis would be. But um, we all know that we have a lot of people in their ego, and they use these different phrases, they use these different slogans or sayings, um, and this is how they start to attack you, you know. And these are some indicators you can look at. They love using the love bomb. I love you, I love you, I love you. But their actions say otherwise. You know, love is not just
Mm-hmm.
saying it. You actually have to take action, right? And that's not what you see. A lot of times we talk about we have a common enemy, but then they start acting like the common enemy and attacking you. So, you know, we just want to definitely raise awareness about some of the things you might actually see on your journey and your path, because even it can be people that you know, consider your best friend or even your loved ones. They change up on you, or they really reveal who they really are. And I like to look at it like you have, it's like corn. I don't know how many people on here eat corn, corn on the cob, love corn on the cob, but uh when you look at corn on the cob, it's kind of like you eat it, don't really digest well, comes out the same way it goes in. It really don't really have that much nutritional value. And that's how these fake spiritual people are. You know, they come in and out your life, and they don't really have no nutritional value. Um, but for some reason, it just feel good to some people to be around them, and our people get addicted to that corn maze, and we can't get rid of that feeling. And you know, they might sound good, talk good, or even do good things, but at the core, it's like they always trying to compete with you, have the envious eye against you. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Anything that you do, they want to put it down. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, when you trying to accomplish something, it's like they're the ones that's actually giving you the evil eye in the pictures. You take pictures together, you can see looking back that they had the evil eye for you the whole time. You know, they was never happy for your success, but they claim that they're so spiritual, you know. And this is why it's very important to identify it early, because a lot of times these people or these types of people will use what they call spiritual word salad, um, and they will use all these quotes from different texts and talk about spiritual practices and all these things, but never go into it. Um, and this is why you really got to pay attention to them, because they love to use their words to manipulate. And again, this is not something that we often, you know, confront in our community, but this is something that we definitely got to start identifying and start creating boundaries, because it can really be toxic and energy draining when you really think about it. Um, and I know I've experienced it on many different levels with people, and I know some of you all may have experienced that on different levels. Uh, People who think they know it all, and soon as they acquire information and knowledge, they think that that's true spirituality when it's not. Anybody can learn to regurgitate and be a parrot and quote other people, but if you really know the knowledge that you're studying or seeking, it's going to actually mold and work on your character. It's not just going to be where you're getting all this information so you can do harm to other people, especially your own people. And this is why, you know, we definitely got to start doing our part as a community, as a people, to call this crap out. Even down to using, once the people uh, have no other tactics or means to affect you, they like to start using children as their next tool. um, put the children all in the camera or all in the spotlight to uh, you know, make it seem like they're so lighthearted, but it's really not. It's all a front. And we got so many different type of experiences happening all in our community that really needs to get called out. And this is pretty much us just trying to raise awareness about these type of people. Um, they always, well, I say always, that's an extreme statement, but a lot of times they talk about um, all the good that they're constantly doing and how much they're doing stuff behind the scenes and how much they're doing stuff for people. And it's like if you truly who you say you are, you don't gotta constantly remind people of that. Your action does. Um, and this is where you see a lot of these type of people when you try to confront them and bring it to their existence, that this is what they're doing. They may make statements and say that you're in your ego when you try to call out their bad behavior. And so, um, just want to make sure that we all can be able to identify some of this stuff, be able to call it out. Some people in our community, they have this messiah complex. They got to save everybody. They got to be the one that share the information. They got to be the one to uh, bring the information or uh, save the world and all this type of stuff. But we know that we all play a part in this. So it's not just one person doing everything. It's not designed for that. It's designed for all of us to do our part. But it just seemed like every time you may even share information with them, it's like they're always trying to one up you and give you this uh, better experience that they're having. Um, and this is where they will tend to go off the rail and get into these spiritual debates with you about how much stuff they accomplished spiritually, or how many angels or different beings they experienced or seen, um, how many different uh, you know astral projections and travels they had in a lifetime. And always, every time you tell them information, next thing you know, as you're talking, they cut you off because they're getting a download or hearing something from the ethers or whoever the hell they think they're calling on. uh, and then it's sad because they use a lot of the so-called gods or creators to say that this is who they're getting their source of information from, but then will contradict themselves through their actions and start attacking you. Okay, and you gotta really be careful because um, sometimes it's like if you calling on God or you calling on a creator, you calling on whoever you say you're calling on, and then you're showing me your actions, and this is who you make your altar to and make libation and do all this stuff. You go outside, stand on one leg and get in the grass and meditate, and you smoke and got all this stuff going on. Get in your conveyance, your car, and I can't even breathe because it's so much smoke. You gotta realize that's not true spirituality. And the moment that somebody try to tell you it's not about that, they really start showing you over a disagreement. They start showing you how they really, really feel about you, which is sad because that's not anywhere remotely close to uh, what true spirituality is. And they may even make statements that they know you better than you know yourself. And you know that ain't true because
Mm-hmm.
every day we're still learning ourselves. We're still on a path of growth. We're still um discovering who we truly are. So how can you make statements that you know me better than I know me? I don't even know me to the fullest because I'm still discovering who I am. And so these are some of the things they'll start to say. And the moment you try to step in and tell them, next thing you know, um you're getting into another one of those spiritual debates, and you see the true character come out, and that has nothing to do with spirituality. uh and it's really sad because a lot of these type of people, they really lack compassion. um they really lack compassion for themselves and for their own people. And that's what it boils down to. If you're so highly spiritual and all these things, you're highly evolved, better than everybody else, why can't you do something as simple as having compassion for somebody else? That's something that you would look at as the first degree. That's something that you do based off principle, but they can't even do that. Um, yeah, I'm just reading some of the comments. Yeah, so and this is what um, right, that's right. On some Jim Jones type. That's right. It's like if you're right. As soon as you don't comply with what they say, all of a sudden the ancestors gonna wax your ass and all type of statements they make. And um,
Mm-hmm.
well, it just seems like anytime you don't comply with whatever they say, all of a sudden the ancestors, the Orishas, everybody gonna wax you because you so in tune with them. But if that's the case, why aren't they doing that to our oppressors? You say you got this connection with them. Well, damn, can you use that on our oppressors, please, to help us out? Because they sure is waxing us in the physical right now. Can you do that? Then that's right. That's right. Now they start um oh, I can't do that. They start turning to LeBron James, jumping out the gym, hitting gymnastics because they don't, they doing all of this wordsmith, word salad, but they can't really produce and show you. Um, they always talk about how they connected to the divine and the Most High, but yet it seems like you can't help us get that progress, but yet you can attack your own people. And see, this is the problem that it continues to go on unchecked and let you try to give some constructive criticism and just tell them something small about themselves, what you notice. Then this is where they show you how they really lack genuine concern or care for what you got to say. And they don't care about anything that you got to say because they already know everything you about to say because they said they know you. So this is where they show that loss of interest in other people. And that's why, again, um, we can't let this stuff go unchecked. You got people making fake accounts, talking to themselves on their own pages and stuff like that. This is all to keep up this game that they run on people. You got people buying YouTube views and buying subscribers, all to keep up this image, this persona. When you're putting in so much work to front and fake, where you could actually put in the work to actually be who you are trying to portray yourself to be. And it's really uncalled for. You can never do enough work to be that person that you're trying to portray yourself because you're not putting in the proper work with the proper mind. You are literally trying to fool everybody, and it's easy to fool everybody because we look what's on the surface. And so it's so many people that you see, uh and don't get me wrong, it's not to attack anybody who is on a spiritual path because we all on our own different journeys. But some of this stuff gotta stop. I mean, it's this like every time you turn around, now all of a sudden, if I don't do what you say, my life is going to go in shambles, or the ancestors going to come and get me, and all this different type of stuff, using this whole fear tactic or fear mongering. And isn't that what the oppressors and the colonizers do? Isn't that what they use? um
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of people in the chat says that it's narcissism. And see, and I can't disagree with that because it's a lot of that's going on. and mental illness run rapid in our community. I can't disagree with y'all on that. Um, it's that's right. It's a lot of that going on. Y'all are hitting it on the nail. It's so many people that have not dealt with their issues, and then they start to project them onto you. You don't even have to say anything about that person. You could just talk in general. Next thing you know, you're the enemy, and that's the problem because uh, they haven't dealt with their own work that they need to work on. All right, so all of y'all are hitting it on the nail, and I mean y'all really on point with it tonight. Um, and we just really, it's not an attack on nobody. It's just so every time you look around, you just see this happening so much. And I think Mother Angela said that people use that gaslighting technique so much, where they will say they spiritual and say that they are a genuine, honest person, whatever, and then in the next song or video, next thing they dissing you and they cussing and they're going crazy, and it really is. I call it a mental illness. That's right. It's beyond narcissism. That's right. And so we just definitely want to raise awareness, and for those who are on your path, you just gotta be careful with the people you're dealing with. You could put on the front for 6 months to a year, but eventually that true self is gonna come out. And all of this sage and saging everything down, and you know uh feather this, feather that. You going outside, you making offering and all this stuff, yet you cussing out everybody, you gossiping about everybody, you calling everybody to talk about everybody, and then realize that people can see through the BS and don't want to be bothered by it. And then you're trying to play people against each other. It's just a lot of just fake spiritual everything that's going on. So that's right. It's been in the community for a long time. It started with the church. I can't disagree with that either. Uh, so yeah, this is it's just so much that we can just cover on this uh, experience, and I know a lot of people experience at different times and different levels to this, but uh, it's only so much that people can take as far as this whole facade that they're putting on. And they say they love their people, they say they love to unite, they say they love unity and all these different things, yet you see them destroying you and taking you down, using the gifts and the skill sets that they have, the knowledge, the platforms, the access to act just like the very people they say that they hate or dislike in the colonizers. So when you're walking on this path, a lot of times you'll walk alone. Sometimes you'll just have few, and that's okay too, because you know I'd rather have a few true ones, good ones around me than a lot of people talking bad about me. Uh, so that doesn't bother me either. So that's right. Elohim, no, Elohim El said spiritual parasites. That's exactly right. Leeches. And when leeches can't leech off of you anymore, what do? They go to the next. Uh, they go to the next host, and when they can't find another host, what do? They turn towards themselves. It's self-destruct. And so, don't let anybody um, feast on you, leech on you, drain your energy. They call you with the same nonsense day in and day out to talk about the same people behind their back, or even in front of them. And so, you just being careful not to let these type of people drain you of your energy and drain you of your emotional, mental, physical state of being. Um, you only get one life, all right? And then, a lot of this projecting that energy onto you, that's called energy vampirism. Uh, if you look at the movie Dracula, it was a young guy. He was getting drained. He was young, looking good, healthy, fit. And as soon as he started spending time with Dracula, he was old to start off. And the more he spent time with him, he started to get younger, Dracula did. And the young guy started to get older and started to uh, become more mobile, Dracula. And he went from an old, crusty, wrinkled, shriveled up uh, old man until getting real, real young. And then the reverse happened for the young man. And that's a lot of times that's how these energy vampires are. Um, and some people, I can't say, because some people are unaware that they are projecting to this level. So you can't say all of them in all cases. We don't know every situation and their thought process, but a lot of times it's man, they really just they do know what they're doing, and they really play fake like they don't, but they know. And it just blows my mind how you can see through it, and they want to keep it going like you can't see them. It's like a child, when you tell them no, they keep going in the cookie jar, and you can see them, and they keep acting like you can't. And that's what's happening a lot of times with this type of situation. So that's right, Ellie Vargas. They are people that will feed off your life force. That's right. And it happens too much. That's right. Mortal Kombat, Detroit 313. That's right. You definitely creative beauty. You got to be careful out here. Too many feeding off innocent people. That's right. And see, we also got to look at the role of the leech, but we also got to look at ourselves. We got to look at ourselves and the roles that we play in the situation too. um, don't allow somebody to do that. So create your boundaries, set up your boundaries, so these type of things won't happen to you. Because just because they leech off of you, don't mean they off. That lets you off the hook either. We got to also remember our part. But a lot of times it'll be the people that's closest to you that always want to tell you how much they love you, and yet they just continuously do you in. And so we got to also know our part. And if you're in that situation right now, you're definitely going to have to learn how to speak up and state, where you're coming from in the situation, set up your boundaries, and know when to cut it off. You got to know when to leave. You got to know when to let go. And, a lot of times when you say no, you see their true actions and you see that they really don't love you anyway. So just know, when you cut them off and let it go, they're gonna keep attacking you and keep doing what they're doing, trolling and everything. But um, all of these things only last for a season. Okay, it only lasts for a season, and eventually, hopefully, if they truly are spiritual and all the things they claim they are, they'll do the real self work. They'll do the work that's needed, and they'll stop preying on other people. And you ever notice how a lot of these fake spiritual people, they climb up so high, and then next thing you know, when they fall so hard, you could kind of predict the fall, because it's a certain pattern with these type of people. So you just gotta just be aware of this, and know when to cut this off, because it's not only draining you but your life force. That's why FIFO said they always got the word love in their mouth. Yes, they do. They know how to say that real good, but the question is, can you show it? Or the inner work. That's right. Not gonna lie. War Jones says, not gonna lie. The same people who said they love me would diss me on the same songs they made So I dissed them back. I'm guilty of it, but my side is of self-defense, just my own. Exactly. No, that's fine. I mean, we got different, similar stories, in different regards, but you know, they like to use your self-defense as you being in your ego, so that they can continue to attack you, so you can be vulnerable. And that's not what spirituality is about. It's not about competition, who knows more. It's not about um, you know, who ascends first, or the fastest. It's about your journey. It's about your experience and how it connects to the whole. So that's right, Noble Yosefel. It's fake. It's a comedy. All these crystals, and I got my my beads, spiritual beads, and all this stuff. Yet you still cutting people off, giving them the finger, cussing them out. Uh, you know, as soon as somebody don't do what you want them to do, you ready to fight, and it's just fake.
How they be noble? I'm gonna get my crystals. I'm gonna burn the sage. Namaste.
That's right. They love that namaste. They love that.
Namaste.
Bye bye for now. All that crap, and it's always peace on the camera, but off the camera, man, they are tearing you up, and people don't know.
Mm.
People really don't know how the people is. A lot of these people, and there's no disrespect again. Um, People, oh, I love you, this or that, and I'm so spiritual. You need to ascend. It's all about ascension, and yet they out here, sniffing the line, snorting the line, uh, drunk as a skunk, all type of stuff. You know, and I'm not if that's your thing, that's your thing, but be real and be honest with yourself. You can't fool everybody, and at some point, you know, um, it's gonna backfire, and this is kind of you always can see when it's coming. You always can see when it's coming. So Detroit, they're gonna think they be like, yeah, yeah, all that stuff, all that fake stuff, um, and it's really it really don't profit our people. And a lot of our people, they just go with the norm. It sounds cool, it's good, and don't. I'm not taking away from none of those things. Sage, crystals, uh, whatever. All of these different tools, they are just simply tools. Not attacking that anybody can use these things, but the way that it's being portrayed, it seems like there's a spiritual agenda. It seems like something is going on where you got people that don't even take baths, don't take care of themselves physically, and yet you're saying you are so highly ascended. And that's not that's not what really goes on. It's kind of like they say that quote. Where's it? How's it go? Cleanliness is next to godliness. Yet, if you always in a dirty state of being or filthy mind, then how can you claim, you're in this high state? You might be calling on demons, whatever, So just pointing that these little things out. That's right. It's not about the tools. It's a costume for them. That's right. So, um, he said, "Lying on fire." Said, "My cousin does all this, talking about she more woke than me while sniffing coke, not knowing the word woke is old to us." Right, and see, it's like it's an agenda that is really taken on within the community, because it's like they all say the same type of things. And I don't know where they're getting this from. They got these meetings they go to or whatever, but um, it's just really fake. And it's just a lot of our people, I say all or most, but a lot of our people embrace this stuff. And there's no knock against a lot of the tools or the things that, but you got to also realize you can't worship these tools because those are just methods to help you in your ascension. And some people put ascension before doing the work, and it don't happen like that. So yeah, it's just so much that could be said. Queen Magic said, I had a female yesterday. I had repaired her spiritual beads for her, and she had about 4 or 5 different types of personalities in one. See, and that's, yeah, you get that a lot. You get that a lot, and it's unfortunate. Um, a lot of different people taking on so much different stuff, versus just focusing on what's in front of them now. People said they need make an adjustment for them because they be making me sick to my stomach. Yeah, and it can be real hypocritical how they come off. Um, everything is always about fear, 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 or manifest. Oh, I'm a manifest, manifest, manifest. That's cool too, but when you're gonna manifest better character, when you're gonna manifest, uh, true love, for yourself
Mhm.
and for your people, um, they always want to manifest a house or better cars and all this different type of stuff, but you're not manifesting stuff to build up the temple, build up the mind, build up your character, and that's more important, you know. Reggie Reggie Burnett said, "You run into a religious person, please hurry up and get away from that person." That's right, cause they will start attacking you like never before. As soon as somebody say they spiritual, you got to duck because you don't know what they're gonna throw at you. I mean, I don't eat meat and all this type of. I don't. I only eat vegetables and plants, and me too. But where is all this hate coming from? Because if plants are alive and they do what they do, why aren't you taking on that energy of those plants and herbs? It just don't add up. Sadia Marshall said people don't really want to do the work to lift themselves to better things. That's right. They want to act like it. They want to act like it, but it's an act. That's right. They don't want to do the work. They just want to project an image. We say this is the age of ascension, the age of occur. This is the age of projecting for some people, and then got the nerve to tell you that you're being egotistical when you do something as little as just point out, I don't like when you doing this to me. I don't like how you talking to me. Then all of a sudden the hood come out. What you mean, yo? What you mean? All this stuff come out. It's not real genuine concern, but they call you my sister, yeah, girl. You could talk to me, and as soon as you try to talk, they start cussing you out, and that's fake to me. But you can point out everything that's wrong with me. And the biggest, and B Miles, we say this a lot of times. The ones who got the most criticism got the smallest ego. They got the smallest egos to the point it's so fragile. You mention one thing, they get hurt and bent out of shape.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
hmm And so that's this is something that is really, I mean, it's been going on for a while. It's been going on for so long. No, Elohim said they'll make you want to set one of them on fire. And yeah, they do a lot of stuff to you, man. They do a lot of stuff to you.
Yeah, and it's something that people got to be mindful of because it's like what I mean, it's like as you go on a journey like down through the years, like everything with excuse me, Noble Isaiah Ellis telling you, I'm talking about this. I'm talking about these are things by like experience, things that they heard from the teachers, and they actually got the experience. I've seen this since I've been on my YouTube journey as well. I've literally have seen, how, things are being projected one way, what I'm saying, on the YouTube, but behind the scenes, it's like, oh, okay, really? Like, hold up a minute, and it just, you start seeing, people down through the years. It's like, I've been seeing this, even, when I came up, in the nation and stuff like that,
Hmm.
I would get around, groups and stuff like that, Pan African groups. I would get around this group, just to hear what they have to say, not see them jumping from one to another, but it's like the thing is, they can preach the knowledge to you, they can speak it. I'm talking about, from the books, but it's like they only take it to a certain limit and a certain level. But
That's
when you
right.
look, but when you look at the actions, it does not add up to what they're saying, what they're reading. And
Hmm.
like somebody said, it's about the inner. So my thing is, so are you sounding like a what's that word? They pretty much start to sound like book knowledge robots.
Mm.
They just got the book knowledge to sound good, but they not really living it.
Hmm.
It's a total difference. I mean, we can speak it, say it, like I said, I mean, intellectual masturbation, but at the same time, are we really producing anything?
Right. Hmm.
And that's a lot of times what fake spiritual people can do, especially in this new age with a lot of this BS. I mean, they make it sound so good.
Hmm.
They make it, these people gonna dress it up so good, like they are so spiritual. But these are some of the most evil, devious, envious people you will ever encounter. And I
Hmm.
think, well,
That's true. It's so true. Um, and it's like they are mirroring what the people that is controlling the world is doing, and it's really unfortunate because um, a lot of times when you're in the situation, it could be hard to uh, embrace the fact that you need to change and work. But yeah, it's real disheartening, and it can be really it could be so different. But a lot of people rather fake it till you make it, I guess. Ellie Vargas said they can't recite it by heart, but they can walk the line. But they can't walk the line. Yep. Yep. They can recite it by heart, but they can't walk the line. That's right. It's a created to be based on results. Too many living a lie. That's right. Mm-hmm. Sadia Marshall said, we got to be able to sit with ourselves and be vulnerable and look at what you can do to get better. Stop focusing on others, but more of yourself growth like a tree. That's right. Because in the end, it's all about, the development um, and your own evolution in the process. So, um, again, this if you can identify these things within yourself, this is more so as a method to help you uh, for yourself and help you to just be aware of what you need to work on, myself included. And if this is not you, but you've been experiencing this with people, then now you can identify certain traits or characteristics or actions that you have witnessed and know when to create those boundaries and to know when it's step away. Uh, Neek Emerald 7 said, it seems as though YouTube is saturated with these personalities. Like, yes, it does. Yep. Latrice Harris says, elite, 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 elite. Them are the higher ups. That's who we need to be talking about. Yeah, we see their actions. We see how the elite, use different forces and practices against people in general. But we also got to take some time to acknowledge how our people, the same ones who claim they love you and doing all this work and trying to uplift you and help you, they're the same ones who jealous, envious, toxic, got the crab in a barrel mindset, want to pull you down because they think master gonna give them a bone or give them a biscuit for helping them. Well, really, some of them don't even think that. Some of them are doing that and acting like the so-called oppressor, and they call everyone's an agent, everyone is fake or whoever, but normally they're displaying those characteristics, and it's really disheartening. So just be able to identify them, because as we're putting together stuff, you got to be able to identify these people on your path, because these type of people can distract you just like the elite can on a large level. War Jones says, true, none of us is perfect, but I don't think anyone of on here is in this live walks around looking for trouble and misery. Well, you never know. I agree, but you never know. Some people subconsciously could be looking for this, and not know it. Corey Allen says they're freezing bank account and financial accounts in Australia. What the F? It's war. It's coming. They're gonna wait to try to get us on Black Friday. It's sick. Yeah. Yeah, misery loves company. The truth is that this is not spiritual. This is common sense. Yep. Mm-hmm. He said, Rhapsody 9. Some of them so spiritual, but selling drugs, hanging out in bars. Yeah, I've seen some of that too. It's just unfortunate. Uh, it's like there's two separate paths. You can't be on both of them. Oh yeah, that would help out, brother Don Ross. Yep, that would help. That's right, Latrice Harris. He said, "You're right, but still, we set and be at each other's throat day in and day out. We gotta find somebody to take it out on. Yeah, that's how a lot of our people act. Um, a lot of our people, they project. That's right. Creative Beauty say, where do we go from here? So, that's a great question. Where do we go from here? Uh, you see a lot of these type of situations or scenarios play out. Our advice, some of the advice we could offer is to know how to identify, know how to set boundaries, and know when to walk away. Especially if you're serious about the journey and trying to build with other like-minded people. A lot of times they can block your energy so much to the point they block your opportunities in life too. And if you don't cut them off, they'll keep you stagnant. And you don't want to be in that situation. So you make the necessary changes needed as you build with like-minded people. You'll get different results. So if you're trying to build, that's what we're trying to do. We're actually doing it, and we say trying. We're actually in the process of doing a lot of different things right now to offer solutions and help our people. We know that this is a similar period to the agriculture and industrial age, but in this short time that we have to build and do for self, you still are going to be facing experiences where you have some fake spiritual people backstabbing you, doing different things. So you have to acknowledge not just what the elite do, but also what our own people may do. Recognize it and be able to just move forward, and not just try to move forward to get over it, but to go through it, experience it, and learn the lessons from it, so we can move and build together with like-minded people. We do have some stuff that we're going to be, um, doing in the near future, but we just wanted to bring this to you all tonight. A lot of people have been experiencing this as well. This is uh, Scorpio season, so this is about death, rebirth, and regeneration, transformation. So this will help us on our journey as we try to transform ourselves and link up with like-minded people. So I hope we was able to touch on something that can give you something you could take away from this, and be able to help you on your journey, on your quest. And we're going to continue to build and touch on topics, that we see that the people need to hear and would like to hear. So hope this was valuable to some. I know we ain't going to please everybody, but hopefully it did some good.
Does anybody have any questions? We're gonna take around maybe like 2 or 3 more questions in the chat.
Hermit Crab said, "What do I do? I don't have any friends that are into the conversation we're having." Um, well, I would say, platforms like this is a great, place to start to try to build with like-minded people. A lot of people in the chat right now and on this channel overall, they see something that is being pushed against us as far as an agenda, and we all don't conform to this system and to the system maker. So there's a lot of people we can try to link up with, in on these platforms to try to build with like-minded people. Uh, Creative Beauty, is it better to go uh, at it alone at this time? Um, If you have to, I mean, if that's the circumstances, a lot of times when you're doing your own individual work, you're going to go through it alone. Uh, and when you get into relationships with other people, that's when the true tests come. No matter how much spiritual work you think you're doing, you're not going to know how far you develop until you get triggered by somebody else. So you can think that you put in so much work. You could think that you're putting in so much uh, energy into something, but you also got to realize that that's what other people are here to help you. When people trigger you, they show you where you're weak at in different areas, what you need to work on. So no one is ever going to fully arrive. And if you do, you no longer need to be here on earth. That's when you fulfilled your purpose. That's right. We're never really alone. Your tribe finds you when it's the right time. I'm currently looking for a job, and all of them are require that I get the jab, but I will not. I have been just trusting I will find my way. What do you guys suggest? Sadia Marshall. Okay, so what is your skill set? And then we can go from there. And then also um well, I don't know if I want to do this, but I need to start talking about suing. Okay. Maybe we could do intro to suing and for the very cause. That's right, Queen Majesty. Secondhand knowledge robot. Line on Fire says, my third live with B Miles and Isaiah, and love it. Another channel to fill my head with knowledge. This topic needs to be discussed. Thought I was tripping seeing the fake spiritual on the rise. It's not a trend. Glad you're here, Line on Fire.
Absolutely. Appreciate it. We both appreciate it.
Yep. Sadia Marshall, my last job, I was a property manager for over 300 people. They fired me for actually caring about my residents. Wow. Yeah, this is where our people need to start suing, and this is where governments come into place to protect their people. And right now, that's the number one thing. Well, that's one of the many things, but one of the top things that we're missing as a people right now is protection in government. FIFA says it's crazy because this topic is something that was revealed to me after speaking with someone I was once close with. They were a wolf in sheep's clothing the whole time. Fake energy. I seek refuge in the Most High. Yep, and it's a lot of times it turns out like that. Any books you can recommend on this subject? Actually, yes, you can actually start with the 42 Laws of Ma'at. That will help you to get the concepts down. Um, to start you off with, getting in the right mindset or mind frame, because it's all about us and what we do as far as how we affect other people. So that's a good place to start. Um, and I would start there and really try to get in those spiritual concepts from there. And then also the Holy Quebec. Um, It's a great book. I can give you for those people let me just read you something real quick from this. Okay, this is from the Holy Kabbalah. It says, this is the Creator. I have made no law unto man, nor will I punish those that do not live a positive life. For only man can reward or punish himself. So it's taking the responsibility off of others and putting it back on yourself. And then it talks about for those who, let me just read this. He who speaks ill of another should not speak at all, lest he becomes mute in yet another lifetime. He who enjoys the pain of another will hear not in another lifetime. He who sees suffering and enjoys seeing of it shall become blind in the next lifetime. He who injures another will be born deformed in another lifetime. Whatever you do in one lifetime shall reflect on your next lifetime. Okay, and this is dealing with karma, and this is dealing with everyone, every nation on the earth have people that you can witness who have done these things because you see the effects. So you just caution, how you treat others, it does come back. It's kind of like this. Everything that you do, and we talked about this before, B Miles, the things that you're doing now, you may not notice, but all the actions that you're taking is being uploaded into a cloud. And as you're living and going on about life, in due season, in due time, your actions, this karma downloads on you, and you reap what you sow. So this is kind of how karma works. And so everything that you're doing to people, you just upload it into a cloud system until it comes back down on you in a later time. This is where they get the whole cloud system computing, uploading and downloading from. They look at the observed nature. And that's what's actually happening when people think they can look at you, okay, they can speak ill of you and say these things, and then they wonder why they become mute in the next lifetime, or they love seeing you struggle and go through pain, and then they have to come back blind in the next lifetime. So it's these type of examples. So that's right, Ellie Vargas. Love, love, love. Lionel 5 said the fake spiritual are making spirituality a trend, just like they did with being real. They went from I'm the realist to I'm the most spiritual and see no growth or change. Exactly correct. Sadia Marshall, need to make my own money, start my own business. I'm very good with people that actually care about life and nature. Well, the name of this book is called The QRBETH. That's just to give you an example. Sadia Marshall, you can email me. At let me see. Yeah, okay. I was gonna read this other passage. I'm looking for it now. Just 1 minute. Yeah, here, okay. Okay, so this is basically saying here, you are not free unless you can overcome the laws of man. And that's a big topic right there. That's another whole topic. But a lot of these fake spiritual, they make it seem like everything is going great and they conquering the world, but inside they are getting defeated. And if you don't want this to be you, just work on it. We all got work to do. So nobody can really judge. We all got our work to do. And sometimes you might meet people where you can work on your stuff together. So,
Yeah, we're gonna go on for about like 5 more minutes, Noble.
okay. Oh, appreciate it, Series 777. Likewise. That's right, Ellie Vargas. I'm just going back up. In the karma bank, what you want is love. That's right. And sometimes love isn't this lay down and step over me, I'm a doormat type energy. It's also uh, not a uh, walk over me, run over me energy. It's all about the action. And sometimes I know people say this thing about tough love, but uh, there's laws to love, right? There's different laws when concerning love. Lena Paris says, if everything we do comes back to us, shouldn't we all be dead by now? Well, again, that's a law in itself. In due season, you're in an age right now where a lot of stuff you do might download on you faster. But see, your actions, um, they not only have physical implications, but they have ethereal implications, where this ether vibrates slower, so your actions may manifest slower. But now it's speeding up because Earth is changing its frequencies and its Earths. Um, and so when you're taking all these actions and doing different things, you might think of a cup of coffee, for example, and focus your energy and concentration on that coffee to get it, to obtain it. And it happened in your mind in the ethereal realm, but it takes time to manifest in the 3D and the this is a dense realm, I'm sorry. And so that's just like your actions. You hating on people, got the evil eye, gossiping, backbiting. Uh, a lot of times it don't happen as fast because it's taking time to come in the 3D. So that's right, Adrian Walks. Energy and gravity are two principles that regulate the universe, yin and yang. Uh, in its purest form, energy can't be created or destroyed. It changes form. It just changes form. It always exists. That's right. E equals mc squared. Creative Beauty said, "Can you go into this again, maybe as a teaching session? Which portion? Just the topic in general, or peace of love, the Lori Salter. Peace of love, brother Lamont. Hermocrat at Noble Isaiah. Do you know anything about being an empath? Yes. Um, but again, that's one of those topics that we can talk about as well. That in my estimation, it gets overused and overlooked. So you get both ends of the spectrum with the empath topic. Latrice says suing is a start. Yes, it is. Yes, and a lot of people think that. Well, let's ask this question: how do you think that the so-called immigrants are able to sue and get awarded $450,000 per individual? Let's start from that suit. So that's something we can start on. Oh, that's a good question, Lena Parrish. Where does forgiveness fit in? Well, it fits in. You can do all these actions. I can slap you in your face, and you can forgive me, but that doesn't mean that your face ain't gonna be red, or that it's not gonna hurt, right? So forgiveness is a release technique for you, the offended, but it can be also be a technique for the offender. But just because you forgive doesn't make all of the actions go away. There's still going to be consequences. Just like if I go out here and rob the store, and somebody go out here and shoot up and do all this stuff, they could say, "Oh, forgive me." That's true. You know, we can ask for forgiveness, but there's still consequences. Dylan Roof can go into church and shoot up people, and then they forgive him in less than 24 hours. But that doesn't mean that he didn't just take people's lives. There still should be some consequences. Okay. If somebody was to go upside your head with a bat and you lose an eye, you can forgive them, but you're gonna want that eye back, right? So.
But yeah, what we going to do, fam? We're going to close out here tonight, and I definitely got to say this is a very great topic. I'm glad you came out tonight, Noble Isaiah Elgin. I mean, to talk about this topic, and this is something that brothers and sisters on the chat that you got to be mindful and aware of, because from what I've learned, like when somebody teaches you something, more than likely it's something that you're going to be facing. Something that we all going to face, because what I've actually learned is, like, if someone is giving you knowledge, a test is going to come right after to see, what I mean, if you have been studying, and if you being aware, and if you're going to pass the test.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something we all can learn. And like I said, as I said, this is just, something that we're discussing, talking about, because we all have experienced these type of people, and we're going to continuously to keep on experiencing. But we just knowing know and understand that we gotta be smart about it, and just like they say, use discernment, use the intuition, and just be very wise of those kind of people. Any more remarks, Noble?
Oh, you hit it on the head with that. That's a jewel right there. As soon as they tell you the lesson, sometimes they put you through it. So I think we can end on that.
All right, okay, fam. But like I said, we definitely appreciate y'all coming out tonight. Like I said, go and subscribe to Noble Isaiah L's channel at the Cosmic God 8. Also donate to his Cash App as well. It's in the chat, and also mine is there. Any amounts appreciated. Like I said, we love to do this for the people. And like I said, we're going to see y'all later real soon. Good night.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.